This is the only reason you still feel lonely, even though you have friends around, even though you still have your guy friends, even though you still have perhaps your girlfriend as well, or any partner that you have in your life, anyone that you have in your life. The only reason that you feel lonely is because you have this thirst, you have this attachment to love unconditionally. Just a brief context on why I'm saying this is because I experienced it myself as well, and I have this need to convey this message to a lot of people, including yourself. Based off my story, recently after I ended the relation with a partner, I suddenly just moved farther away from the friends that I have currently. And over time, I actually learned that as the farther I get, the better I feel. And for a lot of people, and perhaps you as well, you think that the farther you get from your friends, you will feel more empty, right? But perhaps that's what I felt at the moment. But because I'm already sort of I held the inner child within me, I'm able to tap out of it quicker than a lot of other people, especially yourself. The one lesson I learned is that as you get farther away from the whole social circle, from friends, right, even from families as well, or relatives or cousins, in my experience, you tend to be more closer to God. You have this some sort of intimate relationship. You have this intimacy that you lack before, but now you do have that full intimacy with God. Right? That's what I experienced. And now I don't feel lonely anymore because there is that cliche message of if you're alone, sorry, if you feel lonely is different from being alone, right? If you're alone, you're just physically alone. You just don't have anyone beside you, right? But if you're lonely, that's something else. You can just search up the definition of that in Google easily. But if you're lonely, you have this emptiness inside yourself. A lot of men these days, and a lot of guys that I talk to, hundreds of guys, some of them, or perhaps even most of them, feel lonely. They're physically not alone. They have friends, just as why you click this video, as the title says. They do have friends, but they still feel lonely. That's like sort of the problem that is rising in today's world, especially 2024, 2025, from COVID until today. Why? Why is this happening to a lot of men? Why can't they just be okay with being alone? With being alone, right? Not loneliness. We don't want to experience loneliness, but we want to experience the beauty of being alone, the beauty of being in solitude, the beauty of having no inner misery, no inner conflict between yourself, and finding true peace being alone, being in solitude between you and God only. Because before any of this earth even exists, we were only with God. God was creating us only with Him, right? As a believer, I believe that us humans are created by light, because that's what in the Quran says, but for you perhaps it's different. But what I'm trying to say here is we are close with God. God is close to us, like very close. You just have to tap into that. One of the problem of why we feel lonely, besides, just the solution of having that intimacy with God is actually the lack of unconditional love that you received during your childhood. For a lot of guys, because I don't have the problem of being alone, but for most guys that I speak to, they actually do have. And when I hear their stories, I hear that their mother did not give them unconditional love that they needed, or perhaps their father didn't validate them, right? As we know, what two core needs that every son has, right, that is very essential and very important, are love and validation. Love that is given by the father, and validation in order for the boy, for the son, to think to himself that he has what it takes, he belongs in this world, and he can become the man, he can come through as a man, right? But if the boy didn't get that, it's gonna haunt him for the rest of his life with the question, do I have what it takes, father? But it's not biologically answered. Perhaps the father abandoned him, or the father separated with the mother, divorced. Anything could happen, right? Or the mother was also very critical, right? A mother went away, or the mother was too masculine in his childhood. A lot of those stuff can happen, and unconditional love will be blocked in that moment if it's like reoccurring, because trauma can be something that happened, like a big one, or maybe small reoccurring things, and it's gonna affect who you are today. Just think about it, right? When you don't have unconditional love, what does that mean? It means that you will search it during your adulthood to elsewhere. If you don't get validation, you will search it in adulthood from elsewhere as well. That's why it's called external validation, external love. Especially if you lack unconditional love from the mother that is supposed to give you unconditional love, give you being this compassionate being towards you, sympathize, empathize with you, and giving the very core needs that every son needs from the mother. But if he was separated too early, or if he is separated too late, a lot of these trauma can actually influence how we act, how we live, how we do things today. And especially on friends, because we think that friends will be this sufficient being or entity that will give us love, but turns out it doesn't, right? That why you click on this video is because your friends doesn't give you love, but you just don't know that unconsciously until I give you the clarity that you are searching for love towards them. You just don't know it. Why? Because your inner child lacked that love during his childhood, during that 8-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy, 6-year-old until 12. He lacks unconditional love. So he will search it up externally onto friends, because he expects friends will say to him, I'm proud of you, son. I love you from the deepest bottom of my heart. That's what a lot of these guys are searching for, because he is wounded. If it's you, you can relate to this so much. That's why you can be in a crowded room full of guys, full of everyone in a party, and you don't feel anyone there, because the bond isn't reflecting your truest self. That bond between you and your friends isn't fulfilling isn't fulfilling the needs that the child is longing for. And so what the child will do is to always say that, oh, I'm not enough for them. You just give all these, you just have these invalid expectations of them, and if they don't give you what you expected them to give you, you will just blame on them or blame on yourself for not having the capability to give and receive back the love that you expected them to give you. You understand what I'm talking about, yeah? So what we have to do here, because we didn't get that unconditional love that we're supposed to during childhood, what are we supposed to do? The one who will give you that unconditional love, right? Again, this can be from your mother or from your father. You just have to figure it out yourself. But the one who will give you love is not your friends. Your friends isn't going to fulfill what you need. Your friends isn't going to be able, even your family as well, even your partner, even your mom, your dad, any caregivers, your uncle, auntie, anyone, is not going to fulfill what you truly need. The one who will fulfill it, think of it first. If I don't hear God from your voice, from what you say, then I don't know what you're thinking of. God is the only entity that's going to give you unconditional love. You can read the scriptures. If you're a Christian, Catholic, I'm a Muslim myself. I read the scriptures of God is the one who forgives. God is the one, the one who gives mercy, the one who gives grace, right? He allows us to love compassionately, and He loves us unconditionally. If you read the scriptures, you will understand this. So in order for us to reparent the boy within is to go back and have this real, authentic, right, conversational intimacy with God. Because we also might think that God is, strict and all this, right? Of course He is. But we also have to understand that He is the one who understands everything. He is the one who will heal us. He is the healer of our wounded self. He wants to heal us. He's been trying to heal us, all of us. He's trying to heal Adam and Eve. Like from Adam and Eve, our ancestors, right? Adam and Eve. And for decades, for millions and gazillions of years, God is trying to heal us. We just have to tap into that and become more conscious and aware of that. And then we can actually move on with life more joyfully, more spiritually better, right? And then we can be alone and not feel lonely. So in order for us to reparent that wounded inner boy is to have this relationship, this full intimacy with God again, right? And I can make a whole video on how to have this intimacy with God. But if I were to say based on my own story, based on my own experience, is to actually what I've been talking about, to bring that wound to Him, because from there He will understand us. We bring that shame, we release anger, we release the things, we surrender to Him, right? We surrender this wound to Him, because He's the only one who can fix our heart. Because the devil has been feeding on our heart for the past decades, since we are an infant, since fetus, right? The devil made an oath to harm, to whisper, to command the humanity to doing something that is harmful after Adam and Eve has descended from paradise to earth, because earth is just full of tests and challenges that Adam and Eve has to go through, right? And the devil made an oath to always harm them for the rest until the day of judgment. So again, have this intimacy with God, as this is very important. One of the practical ways you can do this is to bring the wound to Him, like literally surrender and submit, because He's been knocking your door. You just have to invite him in. He's been knocking at the entrance of your heart. In order for you to be healed is to let him enter your heart. If you want to know more about how to actually heal your wound and to have this full intimacy with God, I'm creating a course, a protocol, a guide, link in the description down below. It's still upcoming. You still have to wait, right? But you can personally be in a call with me, and I will help you with the struggle of being lonely, right? I can actually help you. I can be there with you, and we can have this safe emotional container for you to release this pressure within yourself, right? I can help you find out why you have this loneliness behavior and how it sabotages your life. Whatever it is, link in the description down below, and I will actually personally help you, because once you join my secret community, we will have a chat, we will call, and you can find out about yourself and unlock emotional freedom. Over time, when you have this full intimacy with God, you will unlock this feeling, this freedom, this joy and love to have friends, be with friends, right? But not have that attachment, that overly attachment to them, because now you have that, you're affirmed by God already, that God is gonna give you unconditional love. Once you're affirmed by God, once you meditate on those words that God says at the beginning of everything, of this whole generation, humanity, humans, once you have that meditated within you, once you reparent the boy with those affirmations, you're able to just be alone and be in solitude and just be happy. And once you get friends, you won't have this thirst of needing their approval or needing their validation, needing their love, because now you have love unconditionally from God. That's the shift you're going to feel. You're going to have more peace. You're not going to have this inner conflict within you. You're not going to be able to overthink anymore, because your brain and your body is just very safe, because you're holding that inner wounded child, and you have that more emotional capacity, right, to care less about the validation and about the love that you expect that you get from them, the give and receive, right? Once you're mature enough, you'll understand. And in order for you to be mature is to have that intimacy with God, because then you can have friends as many as you like and not feel lonely, but being happy and being calm and being in solitude, having that excitement for the purpose that you're going to do, for the gift that you're going to give to people, because now you're just working on yourself with the help of God beside you. Again, if you want to check it out, link in the description down below. I hope this video is valuable for you, and I'll see you in another one. Goodbye.